In this nugget, we're going to dive right in and take a look at the brains of the operation, because what we want to know is, what is the NSX Manager? So when we initially deploy NSX, the first step is going to actually be to roll out the virtual appliance, the VA, for the NSX Manager. Once configured and on the network, it will then be connected to the vCenter server. It's important to remember that it's always a one-to-one relationship between NSX managers and vCenter servers. If I have a separate vCenter server in my network, I'll need a separate NSX manager to function at the management plane. The NSX Manager will integrate with the vCenter server, allowing administrators to connect to the vCenter server and access the NSX Manager elements because of an extension to the vCenter web user interface. And the name for that extension is called Networking and Security. Now, the instructions that are given to this NSX Manager VA are given by vCenter server or from external sources using the REST API for NSX. Once that NSX Manager is installed, it's going to be responsible to prepare the host to participate in NSX, to create NSX controller clusters, control VMs, and edge VMs as instructed. Starting with 6.1, communication between the NSX elements is secured by SSL, and in fact there's a self-signed certificate that is installed by default on the NSX Manager, and that is trusted throughout the infrastructure as we build out these different components. From a maintenance perspective, our NSX Manager should be protected by an ESXi HA cluster. In terms of disaster recovery, the NSX Manager can be connected to directly and backed up and restored into a new environment. While we're talking about backing that up, the NSX Manager takes up 60 gigs of disk space and will need to be assigned from 4 to 8 virtual CPUs and from 16 to 24 gigabytes of memory. Now, because we're talking about something that's up here at the management plane, there's not a lot of real-time operations that would be disrupted if for some reason the NSX Manager went offline. What we would notice is that identity-based firewall policies would not function because of the inability to look up user accounts, and flow monitoring collection would also fail. And of course, when we connect to our vCenter server and open up networking and security, we would find we could not manage NSX because the NSX Manager was offline. My friend, because the NSX Manager operates in the background behind vCenter server, it can be easy to forget that it's even in existence, that it is its own separate virtual appliance functioning in tandem with the vCenter server in order to coordinate management functionality throughout the NSX architecture. But by going through this together, you understand exactly where the NSX Manager lives, what its core jobs are going to be, and some of the aspects associated with maintaining and protecting this important virtual appliance. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.